Have you ever been there for everyone, yet felt like no one was truly there for you? Have you ever spent so much time taking care of others that you forgot how to take care of yourself? If so, this story may feel familiar. In a peaceful town surrounded by green mountains lived a woman named Mei Lin. She wasn't wealthy, famous, or powerful, but everyone knew her name. Whenever someone needed help, Mei Lin was always there. She delivered groceries to elderly neighbors, listened to heartbroken friends, and quietly supported families facing difficult times. People often said, "Mei Lin has the kindest heart in town." And they were right, but there was something nobody noticed. Every time she solved someone else's problem, she ignored her own. Behind her warm smile was a woman slowly running out of energy. Each morning before sunrise, Mei Lin watered the flowers outside her small house, prepared tea, and checked on an elderly neighbor named Grandma Yue. Then she walked to the village school, where she taught children to read, write, and dream. The children adored her. But after every school day, she returned to a quiet house where no one asked how she was doing. Months passed the same way, helping, giving, sacrificing, and never stopping. One afternoon while teaching, Mei Lin suddenly felt weak. The room began to spin, but she continued working because the school's spring festival was only days away. She promised herself she would rest later, but later never came. On the day of the festival, while rushing between tasks, her vision darkened. Her legs gave way, and everything went black. When she opened her eyes, she was in a hospital bed. The doctor looked at her kindly. "You pushed yourself too far," he said. "Your body is exhausted." Mei Lin replied softly, "But there was so much that needed to be done." The doctor smiled. "There will always be more work. You've spent so much time taking care of everyone else's life that you've forgotten your own." Those words stayed with her. For the first time, the strong and dependable woman needed help herself. The next day, a nurse brought her a small paper crane left by one of her students, a quiet boy named Wei. Later, Wei visited her and said, "My grandmother says that a person who waters every flower must not forget their own garden." His words touched her deeply. After a week, Mei Lin returned home. For the first time in years, she sat quietly and thought about herself. That evening, she whispered, "I've taken care of everyone except the person who needed me most." The next morning, she made a decision. She would continue helping others, but she would stop abandoning herself. She started with small changes. She ate breakfast before rushing out. She began writing in a journal. She returned to painting, a hobby she had once loved. And in the evenings, she walked beside the river, watching the sunset. Little by little, her heart grew lighter. Her students noticed she laughed more, smiled more, and seemed happier. Most importantly, she learned to say, "Not today. I need some time first." At first, people were surprised, but eventually they understood. She wasn't becoming selfish, she was becoming healthy. One afternoon, Grandma Yue asked, "You seem happier these days. What's your secret?" Mei Lin smiled. "I finally learned that kindness should include me too." As time passed, she found balance. She still cared for others, but she no longer lost herself in the process. When someone needed support, she gave it. When she needed rest, she took it. One evening, Wei noticed a small chair by her window. "Why does no one sit there?" he asked. Mei Lin smiled and sat down in it. "That chair is reserved for someone important." Wei looked confused. She continued, Whenever life becomes too noisy, I sit here and remind myself that my needs matter too. Years later, people remembered Mei Lin not only for helping others, but for teaching an important truth. A caring heart must also care for itself. Because if you keep giving without restoring yourself, eventually there will be nothing left to give. So ask yourself, when was the last time you did something kind for yourself? Remember, rest is not weakness, boundaries are not selfish, and self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity, because the world does not need your exhaustion. It needs your light, and your light shines brightest when you remember to protect it.